You'll slow down your growth in scaling in business and real estate if you don't have the bandwidth to expand. And one of the best ways to expand is having multiple lines of credit and being able to set yourself up with business lines of credit in order to be able to ante up and double down on your investments, your business endeavors, and everything that you're doing to scale your profits as you move forward from day one. Now, 95% of businesses never establish business lines of credit in lieu of growing. They'll establish small business lines of credit to offset payroll, to go in and buy materials, to go in and maybe remodel an office, but they never utilize it strategically to scale. And so today I want to show you how we utilize AI to be able to go in and leverage business lines of credit and what you need to do to be able to take advantage of business lines of credit, to be able to scale your real estate professional, and how you utilize AI to help you establish your business lines of credit initially to get your business rolling. Now, if you're a small business owner, entrepreneur, you're just getting started in real estate, you're taking down your first investment, you're going to buy a piece of land, you're going to build a house. Listen up. This is what you need to do step by step. One, you need to pick a simple business name. Number two, you need to register that business name as an LLC with the Secretary of State in whatever state that you're doing business in. So if you're in the state of California, you go into like sos.ca.gov. You go into the state website to be able to execute the registration of your business entity to make sure that nobody else has that business name. Once that entity is registered in whatever state you're in, doesn't matter if you're in Alabama, doesn't matter if you're in Louisiana, doesn't matter if you're in Texas, New Mexico, doesn't matter if you're in Washington, doesn't matter if you're in Miami, New York, California, doesn't matter where you are. Every single state has a state corporation commission. When you go to their website, you can register your business name. Now, you're also going to need a federal employer identification number that you'll always go in and register with the IRS. You'll go to irs.gov, you'll go apply for EIN number, which is an employer identification number. It's real simple. These simple steps take you moments. You can go in and register your business and with a state corporation commission, and it'll take all of about 30 minutes. Once you get your number, your SCC number, your state corporation commission number, then you can go in and take that state corporation commission number and you can go to irs.gov and in 15 minutes get issued an employer identification number. Okay. Now, here is the big holdup that 90% of people will have that lands up costing them some money that you can actually do yourself for free. You can go in and pay an attorney between $800 and $1,800 to set up an operating agreement for you. And ultimately, long term, as you grow and as you scale, you will want to get eyeballs from an attorney on it. But for all intended purposes, to be able to get your business established, if you want to do it today and do it quick, you can utilize artificial intelligence, yes, AI, ChatGPT, or any of the big AI companies that you can download the apps to be able to write your articles of organization for you, which is a big component of going in and taking advantage of building your business line of credit. You cannot open a bank account without this. So if you simply go into ChatGPT, these are the exact questions that you'll want to ask GBT to be able to print out, and then you'll have to fill in the blanks as far as your business name, your personal name, and your entity and what you're doing. But 90% of what you'll need will be printed by AI. Now, a simple operating agreement is what you're going to need to take to the bank that shows that, one, you're the rightful owner or responsible party for that entity. That operating agreement is super important for you to be able to go in, and it tells the lenders, the banks, that you are the owner or the responsible party for that entity, and that's how you're going to get some business lines of credit. Now, when we go in, it doesn't matter what your credit score is, PS, by the way, to get an operating agreement built out and be able to get your checking account opened up. So when we go in, we're going to go in for the simple operating agreement. You can just open up AI and write this stuff out. And this is the way that I would do it. Article number 1, okay, is going to be formation of company. Now, when you do formation of company, you're going to go in and you're going to have the name, the purpose, the scope of your business, the principals, the officers, the location of where that business resides, the registered agents of that business, the registered location of that business. All of that information is going to go into Article 1. So for sake of example, you can go into AI, and let's just open up ChatGPT real quick, and you could simply ask the question, and you'll ask multiple questions to ChatGPT. I'm going to use simple ChatGPT. Okay, so on ChatGPT here, guys, you say, write me an operating agreement with Article 1 related to the formation of the company, including name, purpose, scope, registration of that company, principal officers, location of record, registered agents, and registered location. We're going to hit play, and AI is going to write out that entire first article for me, okay? Now, simple articles should have about between 10 and 15 articles. I'm going to go through all of them with you. When we go in, It just talks about the formation. You'll have to fill in the blank with your company name. It'll go through all the way through Article 1.8, and it'll have some notes in there, what to replace, the company name, the address, the specific details considering consulting with a legal professional, because you will want to do that at some point in time. But this will put together for you all the moving pieces that you need to be able to set up a simple operating agreement. Now, Article 2 is going to be your membership interests. If there's partners in this, you're going to want to label who those partners are, what membership interest they have. Okay, if you own 100% of it, the membership interest is going to be 100%. It's your membership interest. Okay, Article 3 is going to be your capital contributions. Where's the money coming from to open up this business? And capital access. Okay, who can get loans? Who has access to be able to get capital for this business? Who could sign on behalf of loans? If you're going in, who can do that stuff? So there's capital access. Okay, article number 4, we're going to need allocation and distribution. So we have our allocation and distribution. How do you distribute funds, real estate, money? How are those funds being allocated? How are they allocated? Who are they going to? And how are they distributed? Okay, that's what number 4 is. Article number 5 is going to be management of company. Now, let me explain this together with number 6, because number 6 is going to be the managers. Okay, now, every single company has managers or members. Who's managing that company and who are the owners? The members are the ones that typically have the ownership interest. Now, you could be a manager and a member. If you're a single entity LLC, you're both a manager and the member of that entity. And so, for all intended purposes, if there's multiple people, you can give manager rights to people that work for you within the company and say they're the manager of this company. So if you have different locations, franchises, if you have multiple properties or property managers, you could give access to somebody to manage your real estate portfolio for you in a different state, but you don't give a member interest. They don't have ownership interest of that LLC, but they can have management. So you'll clarify all of that in these sections. Now, when you're first establishing business lines of credit, don't get caught up on all the details. Just make sure that you have something general put in there initially. And if it's a single entity LLC and you're the sole rightful owner and you don't have any other managers, put yourself in there as the member and the manager. And for all intended purposes, the management agreement can be very simple. As you scale, as you grow, as things change, then you will want to be able to consult with an attorney to be able to go in and get it modified to fit the scope of work and business that you're actually facilitated and are in need of for the systems and processes that you're actually utilizing to be able to move that business forward. Okay, now, number 7 is going to be the members, okay? So when we go in, guys, and again, let's do another example with AI real quick, because all I'm doing is I'm taking this information and I'm just plugging it straight into AI. So if I go in, I can save this, I can send it to myself on Article 1. We're going to go through Article 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? 8, 9, 10, and we're going to so forth and so on. So here's what we're going to do. Write me an operating agreement that also includes Article number 7, which includes the members, and write me Article number 6, which includes the managers, their duties and clauses into that agreement. Article 7, please specific article. Okay, formation, name, principal officers, registered agents, has all the same stuff from before, and AI starts to know what you're doing. So now it's redundant in a lot of the stuff. Now when we get over here to management structure, the company shall be managed by its members. Each member shall have the authority to act on behalf of the company. Number 2, decisions. Decisions shall be made by the majority vote of members unless otherwise specified in the agreement. Article 5, initial contributions. So see, we're going through this and it's talking about the initial contributions. AI is listening to me write what we're doing right now. So as we're going through this, it's following everything that I'm doing and it's just writing these as we go. AI is smart, guys. It will follow and adapt to everything you do. You could sit in one sitting and you can write the entire operating agreement at one time. Now let's go through what else is going to be needed on here. So we talk about the members, what their duties are, okay? Now we go to number 8, it's going to be meetings. Every company has to have monthly meetings, weekly meetings, annual meetings, but at minimum, you have to have meetings. You have to be counting meeting hours, meeting minutes, and what that company is doing. You have to have an annual meetings in order to document that it's a legitimate company, a corporation, LLC, and so you have to have some type of guideline on what your meetings look like in your business and what you're facilitating. Looks just like we would go to the Berkshire Hathaway meeting every single year. It wasn't like a party. It was the actual annual Berkshire Hathaway meeting for members, and it's part of their operating agreement. So every year he would have it. Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett would do it almost like a party, but they would have their actual meeting, their annual meeting for the company every single year. So for sake of example, you could sit down and say, if you're the only member, you could sit down and say, hi, Jerome, we're going to have a meeting today. These are the goals for the company for the year. This is what our current financials are, and this is what we're going to do. And you can just count those minutes. You have to log them. When you count and log those minutes, that's what's going to give the legitimacy to that corporation that you're logging those minutes, and you just want to write that out in your meeting minutes. Now, number 9, and a lot of this is logistical, guys, but the whole point is understanding that you can go in and do this yourself utilizing AI and save yourself $800 to $1,800 setting up a simple operating agreement when you're setting up your own business lines of credit. And for some of you guys, you may be sitting back going, well, Jerome, what does this have to do with setting up a business line of credit? Well, if you don't have an operating agreement, you don't have a company. If you don't have a company, you can't set up a bank account. If you can't set up a bank account, you can't establish business lines of credit. So the whole thing is first steps first. You can't put the cart in front of the horse. We want to make sure that we have working, moving pieces to be able to set up a bank account and ultimately apply for business lines of credit. And this is a big integral piece of it. And instead of having the expense of going out and paying somebody to do it, which most people will do, you can do it yourself. This is where the holdup is for a lot of people. And so I like to tell people, you can do this yourself, especially with AI right now. AI will come in and write your articles for you enough to go in and open a simple bank account so that you can go out and start applying for credit. Now, number 9, it's going to be books and records and bank accounts. Okay, now this is going to say who's keeping the books, what type of record keeping. That could relate to meeting minutes, financials, whatever it is, and then who's authorized to be able to facilitate bank accounts. Okay, number 10 is going to be transfer of membership interest. So if you ever sell the company, how do you transfer those membership interests to somebody else? And it's going to explain how those interests are actually sold or how they're actually transferred to another member. If you die, how are those transferred? What's the legal process of how those interests are going to be transferred? If you sell, or if you just bring people in to the business and they're coming in with stock ownership and maybe they come in as strategic partners, you can give off certain membership interest to other parties. And when you do that, this will tell you what's involved in being able to go in and transfer that. Okay. Now, number 11, dissolution and termination. How do you go in and dissolve a company, and how do you go in and terminate it? Okay, this is the proper way to do so. So you can have AI write out dissolution and termination agreement in there, and this will also give you the ability that if you do bring in partners on this portion right here, how do you dissolve those partners? How do you get rid of them? Or how do you go in and terminate their interests? And so you can protect yourself. Now, you can write this up in any one way, shape, or form. Remember, don't complicate it in the beginning. It's a single member LLC. You're the only member. You don't need to dissolve yourself. In the future, as you grow and as you scale, this is where you have to go in and consult with an attorney to help go in and clean up this type of stuff right here. Okay? That way you're protected as you grow, scale, and you still ultimately keep control of your own company. Okay, now, number 12, we're going to go in and we're going to put a dispute resolution. This will usually have like arbitration clauses, litigation clauses, and under disputes, how you handle those. What's the typical way of handling them? Instead of going to litigation, let's arbitrate. Put an arbitration agreement together in there. So if that way you have an arbitrator, you can go in and try to negotiate a settlement. You can go in and put a litigation agreement in there. Who's paying for legal fees on prevailing parties? That type of stuff goes into the number 12 on disputes and resolutions. Number 13 is going to be general matters. Okay. This is where you talk about like successors and powers of attorney. Who, under the circumstances that you can't perform under your own company, who has the ability to get power of attorney to be able to execute on your behalf? Who also has the ability to work as your power of attorney, maybe in another state where you can facilitate business that can sign on bank accounts? This is where you give up some of those duties to somebody else and put limitations on those duties of what people are restricted to be able to do. Now, those general matters are great to have in place as you grow and scale. But again, it's a single member LLC. You're the only one, so that'll be a very simple place. Now, once you do this, ladies and gentlemen, you now are armed to go in and start applying for bank accounts. So it's real important that this operating agreement is set forth, and it can be very general. What the bank wants to know is, hey, are you the responsible person for this business? And do you have the authority to even open up a bank account in relation to this business? And you have the ability to give yourself authorization by utilizing AI and writing a simple operating agreement together to go in and set up a bank account. Now, I always tell people, set up 2 bank accounts, one at a large bank like Chase, one like at Wells Fargo, Merrill Lynch, Bank of America. It's the big banks, okay? And the reason why is these banks will tend to give you and solicit to you lines of credit through credit cards. Now, if you go to a small regional bank, they don't have the expandability and the bandwidth to be able to go in and give you a business line of credit through a physical Visa or MasterCard or American Express, where the big banks do. In fact, they'll solicit you. You might only get $5,000 or $10,000, but it's your gateway to entry to start utilizing business lines of credit. Now, you do set up a second bank account at a small bank, a credit union, or local regional bank. And the reason why is these are the guys, you're now a member of their bank. You now are somebody. You're not just a number. You go to the big banks and do this, you're a nobody. You're just a number on paper. They don't know you from Sam Walton. To be able to have a relationship with a banker is super important when you're getting business lines of credit. So the reason for the second bank account is to be able to set up a relationship with the bank that you're actually going to do business with, and be able to be a person, a face, a human being with a birthday, somebody that actually you can speak with and knows you on a first name basis. Those are the ones that'll give you business lines of credit. So if you have a brand new business, say, hey, look, I'm brand new, I'm opening, I'm just expanding. Here's my financials and my W-2 employer. I make $100,000 a year, $80,000 a year. I need a business line of credit because we're going to start buying land, building houses. And they're not going to go out and give you hundreds of thousands of dollars to build a house, but they might start you off with a $10,000, $15,000, $25,000 business line of credit, and you can utilize that. And what I would ask for is a revolving business line of credit that when you utilize, you can pay it down and then use it again. Pay it down, use it again. Similar to a credit card, but it's coming through a line of credit that the bank has actually opened up for you through that credit union or bank. And it's the small banks that are the most friendly to being able to do this for you. Now, once you've done this, you want to be able to start going in and utilizing those business lines of credit to facilitate business. Never extend your spending past what you're going to be making. So if you have a construction loan and you're paying off the houses and you're going in and buying lumber, buy the lumber, pay it off with your construction loan. Buy the windows, pay it off with your construction loan. Buy the flooring, pay it off with your construction loan. Now, as you grow, you want to create legitimacy with your business, and what other companies, credit-worthy companies, are looking at is how legitimate is this company? How can we extend lines of credit to this individual who owns this company? And that's where you go in and you register your business with legitimate agencies like the Dun & Bradstreet. It's important for you to register and get your DUNS number, and it's also important for you to go and register with like the Better Business Bureau. When you have those two things and you go in and you start looking for business lines of credit to expand and grow, they will ask and check your DUNS profile rating, similar to your Beacon score, experience score with any of the large credit agencies as a business. So it's important to be able to establish that. Use it wisely to be able to scale and grow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is power pack information where you can utilize AI to help you bridge over the gap at little to no money out of pocket to start establishing business lines of credit with a brand new company that sits with its own employer identification number, which is very similar to a social security number, to be able to go out and start facilitating business. For those of you guys with a lack of credit or bad credit, this is a great way to start repairing that credit and give you an extra leg of bandwidth. For those of you guys who have great credit but just want to be able to de-risk it and dissolve your liability, this is a great way for asset protection. And for those of you guys that have good credit and just want to scale in general, this is a great way to ante up, double down, and be able to take not only your personal credit, but your business line of credit, ante up twice, and be able to scale and double your proceeds, revenue, and ultimately scale your business for long-term growth, utilizing not just your own personal credit, but your business lines of credit. Ladies and gentlemen, set yourself up for success. For more content just like this, to be able to learn how to go out, develop real estate, invest in real estate, and ultimately scale in real estate, click and subscribe to our YouTube channel, smash that thumbs up button, and drop some love down below. Let me know your thoughts, what you're in need of, what we can help you with, and how we can help you continue crushing your 2025 and your future success. Click, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you next time. I'm going to recommend a couple business line of credit videos to help you expand your knowledge, wisdom, and how you go out and create business lines of credit to scale your real estate portfolio. Until next time, God bless and continue compounding your success.